Hi, I'm Cortland Dahl. I am an instructor in the Tergar community, and I'm one of the guides who will be joining you in this upcoming Pure Perception retreat. We are thrilled that you're going to be joining us, and we're thrilled that we're actually offering this retreat. It's one that we've been looking forward to for a very long time. And this pure perception, this idea of pure perception that we are going to be exploring together, is really in many ways at the very heart of the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. The idea is simple. It is profound and transformative, but in some ways quite simple. We are learning to transform the way we see things. We're learning to transform the way we see ourselves, the way we see situations, the world around us, and even how we see other people. So instead of normally gravitating towards the flaws, the problems, the shortcomings, all the many things that we wish were different or better about ourselves and the world, we are learning to see through the lens of Buddha nature, which is to say that we are emphasizing that despite what might be going on the surface of our minds and our emotions and all the many imperfections of the world, there is something fundamentally pure and whole and good about our nature. And this is not necessarily a new belief system that we're adopting, but it is something that we can directly experience for ourselves. In this tradition, and again, what we're going to be exploring together, is the how of that. How do we actually bring this into our direct experience? So it's not a theory or a new set of concepts, but something that really does change the very way we see things and see ourselves in particular. So we're learning to see these awakened qualities within us, not as a potential, but as the reality of who we are and the reality of who other people are, and so on. So this is a profoundly transformative idea, and the practices that help us to translate this idea into our direct experience are incredibly powerful. So this is the territory we're going to be covering. We're going to hear from Mingyur Rinpoche about this important set of practices and principles, and most importantly, how we actually can experience this for ourselves. So this is the territory we're going to be covering together. It's going to be really important and exciting. Another important point to mention here is that this is actually the beginning of an entire year of teachings, events, and transmissions from the Tibetan tradition that Mingyur Rinpoche is going to be passing on to us as a community, so that we can begin to really deeply understand and practice the key points of what we call the Vajrayana, which is one of the most important strands of Buddhist thought and practice that you find in Tibet. So this is really the beginning of this whole transmission that's going to take place over a year. So if you're new to this tradition, this will be a fantastic opportunity to learn all of the ins and outs of the Tibetan Buddhist approach, and in particular, this approach of the Vajrayana, which is, again, rooted in this idea that we are all Buddhas, and we just haven't realized it. So the whole path is just realizing this Buddha nature that has been with us all along, and we've simply lost touch with it. So this will be, again, the beginning of this transmission, and we'll do this as an online retreat. So if you're new to retreat, if this is a new format for you, there's some unique benefits to doing a retreat in this way, and then there's also some unique challenges. So I thought I'd mention both of those. One of the huge benefits, of course, is that we can engage in these teachings and practices from the comfort of our homes. We don't have to fly around the world. We don't have to pay a ton of money and go, to some other place. But we actually can stay in our own home, in our own environment, and still access these really profound teachings. The beauty of that is that it allows us to bring these ideas and practices into our direct lives. So we can start to experience what would it be like to be in the midst of our daily lives, but with this new way of seeing things and this new way of relating to ourselves and our inner experience. Another important benefit is that we're going to be doing this with people from around the world. There's often people from 40 or more countries in Tergar retreats. So whether in small groups or simply in the fact that you're meditating together or listening to teachings together, you're going to be forming connections and sharing this experience with people from countries all over the world, probably from 5 different continents, many different cultures and places and languages. So it's just a really cool opportunity to meet people and interact with others and share these special experiences with people who you normally would not be getting to share this experience with. On the other hand, there are some challenges. The benefit of being in our homes, the ease and the accessibility of that is also countered with the idea that this is also the place where we have all our habits. It might be a little bit more difficult to stay focused. It might be a little more challenging to carve out a quiet, focused environment so you really can be immersed in the retreat experience. So because of this, it really calls for an added element of intention. What I've found, and I think many others have found as well, is that it can be very helpful to set clear intentions, to be very intentional about how you spend the time over the course of these few days when we are going to be on retreat together. For example, without a clear intention, it's likely, going to be easy to slip back into your old habits of what you normally would be doing at home. So you might want to be a little more disciplined about what you're doing between the teaching sessions, so that you spend your time, going for a walk, doing light reading, meditating, whatever you find supportive of the retreat experience. And again, simply to be extra intentional about how you spend that time so your mind doesn't drift back into, some of the old habits that you might normally be engaged in while at home. And then, of course, there's the time when you are listening to a teaching or you're in one of the group meditation sessions. And there, too, you might be in your normal space, in your bedroom, in your office, or wherever you are engaging the retreat from. And there, too, you might want to simply be a little extra intentional about how you spend that time, setting aside your phone, turning off other apps and other engagements so you really can be completely immersed in the teachings and the experience that we'll be sharing together. And the more that we do that, the more that we are both individually and collectively, as everybody being on retreat together, can really be focused and immersed in the retreat experience, the more powerful it is. The more we will actually feel that shift in pure perception, that we'll experience the pure perception that Mingyur Rinpoche will be teaching us about and leading us through an exploration of. So there will be a lot of ways to support yourself. There's going to be some materials that you'll have access to right away here that give an introduction to the retreat, some background things to study and read about if you want to get a little bit of a head start on the retreat. And of course, during the retreat, there will be many, many ways to get further support for the teachings, whether they be group practice, small groups, and other ways that you can simply deepen your experience while on retreat. So again, we are thrilled that you're joining us for this retreat and very much looking forward to exploring these teachings with you. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you soon at the retreat. Take care.